Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Tuesday, the 8th July 2025. So US stocks retreated amid trade frictions with President Trump sending out tariff letters. Yeah, it caused a bit of a wobble. Trump announced his 25% tariff on Japan and South Korea in the first US trade letters, which were sent to both the presidents of Japan and Korea. And they are to take effect from the August the 1st. Yeah, so obviously it's South Korea. Can get on very well if you tried to do that with North Korea. Not that they export anything that I'm aware of, but there you go. So that's the first start of this. It's got today and tomorrow before the rest are sent out. So expect more volatility today and tomorrow. There's no major economic news today, but you won't need it because you'll get the trade tariff letters, which are going to be probably lunchtime onwards unless some get released beforehand. It was yesterday evening before we saw the first of these actually drop, which we'll see later on in the stock prices. So let's have a look at yesterday and the market's reaction thus far with regards to these tariffs. So in the Dow, you can see the impact the release of the first letters have had on the market. Down sharply, but overnight prices starting to make their way up. As before, we have no guarantee that they're going to take effect on the 1st of August, and we could see the market soon turn around. If not, then the market will move lower, and then eventually everybody will get used to the idea that they're in place, and then await and see what impact they have globally. So yesterday, the market down, which you'd expect, down to the S3, where 90% of the time the market finds support. And then we see prices moving back to the upside overnight. In the German DAX, well, it seemed to ignore it. It'll be interesting to see what the tariff is going to be for Europe. There seems to be a bit of a spat between Trump and Europe, but that will have a bit of an impact on the markets when it is released. Obviously, the UK deal's already done. May need ratifying, but other than that, that's all taken care of. So Europe is going to be the big one for my money, unless it's already happened and I'm not aware of it. But yesterday's letters were only for Japan and Korea. So yesterday the DAX, probably because it didn't get a letter, is down slightly, but finding support overnight. And like I say, it's going to be interesting to see if the market, or how it reacts once this is actually released. 30-minute DAX, so you can see prices moving higher. There's the reaction to the two letters that were released. Probably a relief as well that they hadn't found out, but I'm sure they already know anyway. Market down to the close and the DP and the 200 MA overnight, and then starting to move higher. A bit of a run up to the high, as again, a bit of a relief rally for these markets until the next is released. So in the S&P 500, no new all-time high yesterday, but no major sell-off either at the moment for this market. Down yesterday, but up on the overnight market. Again, you can see the impact there down to the S2 and up at the moment above the DP and the close, and just trying to get above the 200 MA. Meanwhile, in the UK, obviously this was down too. Everybody followed suit, but it's still stuck in a sideways move. Nothing major there at all at this time. You can see prices drifting down all the way down to the close of yesterday on the overnight, finding support there. A bit of buying coming in there as well. Bit of weakness also. Momentum's switched a bit there as well. But other than that, market sideways to higher, just holding there at the moment. The US dollar loved the tariffs, but unfortunately not everybody else did, so there was some selling coming in there. You can expect a bit of a bounce here, to be honest with you, and we had this before. As we go back and have a look in May, where are we? Back in April, May, the market bounced, and then it started to get into the heavy stuff and it moved lower. So again, the relief of no tariffs. This is an interesting picture, actually. So the tariffs were then postponed until July. Markets moved lower, but now it's trying to bounce. And now the first time when they started to release these tariffs, before the delay, the dollar was moving higher. I thought it actually, moved lower. I thought it moved higher, but not the case. So an interesting reversal of pattern here, that we're trying to get a bit of a bounce, saying, well, it's all right, it's sorted. I think you might see the US dollar reverse a bit from here as it creates further uncertainty. Let's have a look at the metals. And yesterday, no surprise, silver was slammed. It's up overnight though. It's still stuck in the sideways range. It needs to take out the 37.30 cents level. And in the 30-minute chart, you can see yesterday the market held. Then we get to the usual time. Market then manages to move higher on the tariff talk there. Not so good for gold. Market trying to hold there, but not brilliantly. And overnight prices showing some weakness for gold as well, just bouncing off the DP. This should be powering ahead, certainly if the tariffs do take effect from August the 1st. So we'll just have to wait and see. Let's have a look at the gold-silver ratio. And in the gold-silver ratio, yesterday not doing a lot. There's obviously a bit of a battle between the price of gold and silver. This creating some support at this level. Overnight though, silver doing a bit better, as you can see from the red in the candle at the moment. A bit stronger than gold, moving higher in percentage terms. Right, a quick look at the market's reaction to yesterday's news. As I warned in the alert yesterday that there would be volatility. There'd be no volatility till the letters were released, and it was not a brilliant day for signals, but certainly there was a bit of movement, but nothing to write home about. So we started in the morning with a 50-point drop in the futures market, and then we moved to the upside, which you can see all the way up to the R1. Unfortunately, we didn't get the signal because it was just before the open of the cash market, but a good move there. And then prices did what I expected them to do, is trade sideways. We had a potential buy signal, but as we've seen of late, once the market's moved significantly, there's not a lot left in the tank to move it, and we see prices reverse there. That was the only signal yesterday, and then prices just meandering in a range, waiting for those potential numbers until after 10 a.m. when we saw the market decide to move to the upside. News that the tariffs may not be as bad as predicted, so we're moving back to the upside there through the high, as you can see, and then making its way back down as the rumour mill started to take effect. And then again we're stuck in a sideways range to begin with. The market then breaking to the upside, and again we had the buying coming in before we kicked off with 2:30 p.m. there, and then quiet after the initial excitement, and then we got into the evening, and you'll see in a moment the letters being released and the market's reaction to it. So there you can see we had that reaction, with prices dropping sharply, trading down to the 200 MA, and then just holding there as it went into the evening. Overnight though, prices are starting to move to the upside. We have a look, see where we are, and you'll see we're not that far off the high, so plenty of opportunity to have that relief rally this morning and move prices up. Unless the reality kicks in, then we head down to a break of the 200 MA down to the close and the DP. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But the big one, if it hasn't been released, and let me just check that it hasn't. No, the US has not released a specific tariff rate for the EU, but they are expected to be announced on the 1st of August, according to the BBC. So we'll have to wait and see. I thought they were all being released on the 9th. But again, this is changing by the minute. The 90-day pause on increased tariffs, which was implemented in April, expires on the 9th of July. During this period, the EU had a 10% tariff on goods from most countries, including the EU. The US is currently in talks with the EU to potentially reduce or avoid higher tariffs. Well, we'll have to wait and see on that one, won't we? Right, well, that's it for this one. Like I say, these things can be released at any time, so just be aware of it if you're on the long side, because it'll spike to the downside and then bounce back, no doubt. So there you go. Right, well, have a great day. And as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.